Unless you've been living under a rock for this past decade, you've probably seen this character somewhere before, and whether that be from the show, cosplayers, or most likely, memes, I come to talk about what made this character such a phenomenon in the first place. But, before we get into that, I'm your host, Stitches, the nerdiest nigga on the internet, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most unique characters in fiction.
I'm Pickle Rick!
You did. You gon' die. You gon' die. You gon' die. Yeah, what it mean? Yeah, what it mean? I'm outside, pop out game with the team.
Hope y'all enjoyed that little edit. If you enjoyed it, hit that sub button. Anyways, I wanted to start this off by asking, what makes a character iconic? And since my IQ is so big since I watched the show, it's pretty easy to answer. 1. A catchphrase or saying that people can connect to. 2. A unique look that makes you stand out from the crowd. And 3. Being memed into fucking oblivion. And by the way, these are just my opinions, okay? So, with those criteria out of the way, let's talk some Rick and Morty. Pickle Rick is the third episode of the third season of Rick and Morty where the family, minus Sherry, try to get counseling with the family therapist. And as soon as we start the episode, Rick yells for Morty to come to the garage. When Morty arrives, he sees a pickle on Rick's workbench, and when he flips it over, it turns out to be Rick. When Morty asks if he did it to get out of therapy, Rick proclaims it was to challenge himself before screaming, "I'm Pickle Rick!" The scene that made this character so infamous. See, now when I first heard that premise, I'm like, okay, where can they go from here with that? But before the family leaves, they figure out that Rick had a plan to use a syringe to turn himself back into a human. But before he can, Beth takes it. Then, later on, a cat comes by and knocks Rick off his workbench. Then he falls out of the garage and into the sewers. There, he ends up killing a cockroach and using its brain as motor functions to get around. Side note, in this specific episode, it goes between Rick and the family in therapy, but for this specific video, I'm only going to be talking about Rick's journey. The next time we see Rick, he's decked out in full roach armor attempting to kill a rat, and when he succeeds, he uses his body parts to fight an oncoming horde of rats. And to be honest, for me, this is where the episode got good because of the fact that we see Rick start off as literally a pickle, and we see him slowly build himself up from scratch, which I found kinda cool. Anyways, after the massacre, Rick flies through a sewer pipe and ends up in some secret government facility. While there, he gets attacked by some secret agents, and Rick, being Rick, kills all the agents sent after him. As Rick is going through another massacre, the agents decide to use a secret weapon that they've been hiding against Rick. It turns out that it's someone named the Jaguar, and to be honest, I'm like, at first I'm like, bruh, ain't nobody fucking with my boy Rick, cause it's Rick, you know, Mr. Get Swifty, the man with a plan.
I'm Pickle Rick!
But nah, real shit, he actually does put up a pretty good fight. And during said fight, the agents are also surveillancing the room. But while they're fighting, Rick and Jaguar also destroy all the security cameras. And when the agents try to phone in Jaguar, Rick is the one who answers. And before he hangs up, he tells them all he's coming for them. The main agent, dude, ringleader, I don't really know, they don't make it clear. He starts to panic and kills the last two guards there, in which I'm not gonna lie, doesn't matter, always a trash move, cause that's how you know they're about to die. But anyways, the agent guy steals all the money in the safe and tries to escape in a helicopter. But before he can, it turns out that Rick and Jaguar are the ones flying said helicopter. And before they leave, Rick smokes a cig, lights it up, and throws it on the building, watching the building catch on fire. And to be honest, for me, this is when I'm like, damn, Rick is really that nigga for real. And at the end of the episode, we finally see Rick go to therapy and give it a try. And the episode ends on this really cool message about trusting the people in your life more, which I always appreciate in my cartoons. So, with the recap over, let's go over the criteria one more time. Number 1, a catchphrase or saying that the audience can connect to. Number 2, an iconic look that makes you stand out from the crowd. And 3, being memed into oblivion. Okay, my rating for this episode, 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. The only part that really slowed it down for me was the family parts, because it'll go from like Rick stabbing shit, and then I don't know, it'll go to the family talking about eating poop or something, I don't know. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congrats, you're one of the few that actually have an attention span left. I'm just joking. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all them good buttons. And I hope you guys all have a great day. And with that being said, this is Stitch, signing off. Stitch out.